welcome back to the podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube if you're not already, and check out my Instagram because I love to just post little tidbits of life that have been making me happy. Instagram has kind of become like an online journal for me lately, and I'm really vibing with it, so follow along. The episode, everything that we're talking about today, is all about what to know before or while you're getting your life together, which in the end, I don't feel like anyone truly has their life together perfectly. We all are just human. We all are trying to figure out what life is and how to live it and how to go about it and how to just like cope with it, right? But I think that there are some things that you can do to like help feel a little bit more like you have your life together, or like you have these resources to fall on to if things get difficult. There's a bunch of different things in terms of getting your life together and just feeling content with your life. Getting your life together or having your life in a way that you love it is different for everyone. It's not one size fits all. It's not like here's all the things you need to do and then your life will be perfect, because no one's life is perfect, and everyone's definition of their ultimate goal of the life they want to live is different. And it changes too. It changes throughout the process as well. I know for me, my idea of success or what I wanted my life to look like a few years ago is very different from how I want it to look like now. And it maybe shaped that, but in the end, things can change. And in the end, you can find something that makes you feel even more alive. But in the process of doing that, it can become really difficult. It's easy to feel like, well, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything in a way that should be bringing me towards my ultimate goal, should be making me happy, should be doing this or that. When ultimately, we are human. There will be ups and downs. There will be things that we didn't plan for, we didn't account for. There will be moments where even though everything around you is great and life is going great, you don't feel great. This is life. This is what happens. And it hasn't been. I mean, there are so many times that I'll be online and seeing the way that someone has their life put together, the way that someone does things, the way that someone always seems to have their house clean, or always seems to have clear skin, or always seems to have like everything. They look perfect all the time. They seem perfect all the time. But I can guarantee that that's not the reality. I actually had someone ask me the other day something about how, oh, my Instagram looks so put together and my life just looks so put together and I know who I am. And I do think I know who I am. I like to think I know who I am, but there are so many moments where I don't feel like I know who I am. There are, like this morning, I was kind of stress cleaning the apartment because I was stressed, and my way of responding to stress tends to be to clean everything around me, because if I'm in a clean space, then my life feels clean, my life feels organized. It feels like I have a little bit more control. But that's not something that you see online, right? That's not something that people usually post, and sometimes I even try to record it, but it's just something where it's like, that's a moment for me. I feel like that's a moment for me to, like, if I'm already feeling bad recording myself, I judge myself a lot. And it's a moment for being away from my phone, being away from a camera, and a moment to just be without any electronics. And so those are the moments that people don't see, or the moments that, lately it's been really hard for me to get up in the morning. I have just been feeling a little bit burnt out because it's the end of the semester, Or lately I've been, like I said, stress cleaning a lot, or different things like that. And those are the moments that like people don't see. And I am happy to be open about them, like I'm talking about right here. I love to talk about it because my goal is to remind people that everyone has those moments, but no matter what I do, it's impossible to completely show all of it, right? And that's something that when we think about getting our lives together or doing our best to reset or doing our best to try and live the way that we want to, it's hard to recognize that there will be moments that you don't feel perfect. There will be moments that you look at your skin and feel terrible about it. There will be moments where you see someone online and compare yourself and wish you looked like them. There will be moments where you stress shop. I've been doing that a lot lately. Luckily, I haven't actually bought much, but like my cart and basically every single website to exist is full. I'm like, I have such a big list of things I want that I know I don't need. In fact, I know that I'm going to get them and be like, what am I going to do with this? Why did I buy this? So I don't, but you know, there are a lot of moments that I feel like we just, especially with social media, we have this idea of what a put together life should be, or what a life where you feel content should be, and how it should look and how it should feel, but that's not possible. We share the good moments online, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but there's also something to be said about not trying to pretend like your life is perfect either, right? Recognizing that everyone goes through these moments, and I think most people do. I think a lot of us do. We have these moments, and it's important to acknowledge those. And a put together life, or a life that makes you content, looks different for everyone. For me, that means going to bed a little bit earlier at night, spending a little bit more time at my, apartment at home, really limiting, just setting boundaries as to finding a balance between being out with people and being at home with myself. For someone else, that might mean they spend a lot of time out. For someone else, it might mean that they don't spend much at all. For me, it means I try to somewhere be in the middle. I feel like that's been what has been the most helpful for me over the years, but life looks different for everyone. And I really, really hate how getting your life together is a trend, how all of these things come and go. It's so materialistic. It's talking about all these products that you need, the best skincare products, the best this, the best that, the best I don't even know what. You know the that girl trend? Is that still a thing? I don't know, actually. I haven't seen it lately, but I'm sure it still is. But the trend of saying you want to be that girl. No. What is that girl? What does that mean? That definition itself, that idea itself is already, it's started by a foundation of the idea of looking and seeming perfect all the time. That shouldn't be your goal, because then you're never going to find it. The reality is, life isn't perfect. You will cry in public at some point in your life. You will be embarrassed at some point in your life. You will make a mistake at some point in your life. You will have bad days at some point in your life. So instead of talking about that girl trend, a trend about how to seem and look perfect and have everything clean all the time and have life just flawless, let's focus on living a life that's best for you. That girl is not that person who looks perfect. That girl is that person who does her best to try and love herself for who she is. And she fails sometimes, and she falls, and she gets back up, and she needs help. She asks for help. She knows herself, but she's constantly learning about herself and discovering new things. There's moments where she might feel so lost, but she'll do her best. That, to me, is what we should be striving for. And I think that when you are surrounded by these trends and these ideals and this perfectionism and the go, go, go mindset and everything, it's important to remember that. That influencer that you see online who seems like they have their life together, they're covering it up with makeup, with filters, with poses, right? And do we all do that in a way? Well, I wear some makeup, not very much, but I love editing my photos. I love putting, I'm a photographer. Of course, I edit my photos. I love taking photos and finding the most aesthetic thing, and it makes me feel happy, right? But I'm here to remind you that that is not my life all the time. That is not what my life looks like always. This morning I woke up and I thought, wow, I need a vacuum. The doors or the floors are dirty. The cat is getting hair everywhere. I feel just tired and anxious and whatever. And this morning I posted pictures from the last week that made me really happy, right? Those pictures make my life look great, whereas I was feeling a little bit stressed out. And it's not that my life was bad, but I was feeling a little bit stressed out. I was having a hard time expressing that gratitude in every moment, right? Life will never be perfect. So if you're going through a journey of trying to understand yourself, of trying to make changes, of trying to just continue to take care of yourself, that's the number one thing that I want. I guess my goal of this video is that's the number one thing, is that remember to have expectations that are realistic. Because if you have expectations that are not realistic, you're not gonna be able to fulfill them, right? We all wish that we were perfect in some moments, but no one is perfect. So if that's your goal, you're never gonna get that. But if your goal is just to be the best that you can be and to do your best, that you can do. That you can do and feel really proud about. That you can do and you can feel really content about. And I think a lot of times why we always feel like we just can't seem to get it right is not because we're doing something wrong, but because we have the wrong expectations. And it's unfortunate because we live in a world where those expectations are always seeming to be there. They're right there in front of your eyes. It makes it look like they should just, life should be perfect, right? But that's not a realistic expectation for anyone. And I have so many people ask me, how do you do it? How does your life seem so put together? And every time I'm like, but it's not. Do I love the life I live? Yeah, I do. But are there moments that I feel so blah and I just wish I could sleep forever? I wish that I could I wish that I had this, I wish that I had that, I wish that I looked like this, wish that I looked like that. I'm frustrated that my life isn't this way, I'm frustrated about that. Yes. Are there moments that I feel bad about myself? Yes. Are there moments that nothing I wear feels right on me? Yes. But those are the things that I get compliments on. the way that I dress, how I look put together, how I think I have things under control, how I have my business and work multiple jobs and I'm a double major and all of these different things. You want to know the reason for that? My counselor recently discovered that I probably have ADHD, and I tend to hyper focus a lot, which is why I get so much done, because there are moments where I cannot make myself stop. Like, it is so hard to stop. That's why I have a business. I mean, not why, but like, that has helped a lot. I think that's how I've been able to do all of it, is because that's the way that my mind works, right? A lot of what you see isn't necessarily perfection. Do I get all these things done? Do I have this business? Am I a double major? Yeah. But sometimes do I wish that I could just sit down and relax without working? Yeah. And is that hard? Yeah. Do I get burnt out? Yeah. We all have our ups and downs. And when people ask me how my life seems to be so put together and so perfect and how I'm doing so many things, the only answer that I have is, it's not perfect, but I love it the majority of the time. And I do my best to live as authentically as I can in a way that makes me feel happy, makes me feel grateful, and that I know that I can look back in a few years and think, yeah, I'm glad for how I lived in that moment. That's the ultimate goal for me. That's the ultimate goal. It's not to be perfect, because I will tell you right now, I will never be perfect. I can do an entire episode on the things about my life that are not perfect, and the things that I'm insecure about, and the things that I struggle with. If that helps people, I will do it. I don't care. I will be the first person to point out my flaws, because I know they're there. I have so many. But I've done my best to love myself despite it. And that to me is what really, really matters.